Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. So today's video is very different. I mentioned 3 or 4 video ago that I wanted to start a series on the blog or channel that is very different to what I usually do. So it will be completely unrelated to hair and more about my personal life, things that I've gone through, that you may have gone through, things that I've done that I shouldn't have done, that you may have also done and shouldn't have done, and just really a series and a platform of motivation, encouragement, and just being real, because I feel like with all of the hair videos and the beauty videos and the fashion videos that are out there, the social media becomes a place of fakeness and doesn't always really show what's behind the camera. And I thought, I don't really want this channel just to be that, because I know that I'm more than that, and so I just thought, let me just come and be real with you guys. So the series officially starts today. I'm very excited, and it's going to be called Imperfectly Perfect, because that is what I am. I'm proud to be, and I think it's such a beautiful thing to be once you have an understanding of what it means to be imperfectly perfect. So the first video of the series is going to be called Overcoming Your Past and Moving Past Regret. I really wanted to start off with this because I thought, you know what, this is the absolute realist I can be, because I have something that I overcame that was a really big deal for me and a huge obstacle in my life a few years ago. And when I look at where I am today and where I am now, I'm in awe of my situation and how I overcame it and how I came to be where I am now. And I thought, let me share that with you guys. From my hair videos, if you guys have watched them, you'll know that I tend to kind of drift towards 5 things I learned about my natural hair, 3 ways to do this, 10 ways to do this and that. So this will be kind of similar, because I do believe that there should be an outcome and something that we can get out of the video. So it will be 4 ways to overcome your past and move past regret. And I thought, what better way than to share with you guys something that I went through a few years ago that really did or really was an obstacle in my life. So in 2008 I lost my mum to the battle of cancer, and I was 18 years old at that point, and I was in 6th form college and a student council president, preparing for a rave, preparing for our end of year prom, and also, you know, preparing for my A-level exams so that I'll be able to get into university. So this really was a super major point in my life, a major time in my life. Now, my mum passed away in 2008, but the cancer journey, you know, started well before that. So I'd say like three years before we first came into contact with this cancer in our family. Never had it, never heard of it, never knew of anyone that had it in our family, so my mum's case was the first. So her cancer was detected, and as you can imagine, it changed a lot in our family. Family dynamics changed. I took on the role of a mother. My older sister was on her year abroad in the ATL, so I had become the oldest in the house, and you know, cooking, cleaning, as well as trying to prepare for my A-level exams, and it was just all on me. It was all on me. It was a really tough time. So my mum's cancer had been detected and had been removed, and it was breast cancer, so they had to remove one of her breasts in surgery. So once that had happened, you know, we really had thought, okay, the cancer's gone, oh my gosh, like we can finally rebuild our family and get back to how we were before, and you know, mum can get better and things will just get back to how they were before, because we were a very happy family. I'll be real with you, I don't really remember a time of unhappiness. We were really happy. So yeah, this was a time that we were really looking forward to for rebuilding. So my mum did get better, and things slowly started to get better. And then I think, I can't remember how many months later, but it felt like almost a year later, she had gone for a checkup and was told by the doctor that the cancer had spread, which came as a huge hit to the family, because we were in the process of rebuilding our lives, and you know, we were in the healing process. So to be told that this cancer would come back was devastating, and more so, not only that it had spread, but that the likelihood of my mum surviving at this point, or at that point, was very small. Now, from the time when she had been told that to the time when she passed away, life just was honestly, like fast track, fast paced. Everything was so fast paced, and my mum began to deteriorate to the extent that she wasn't really mentally there, so to speak, and she didn't always remember who we were, and her sight deteriorated, and this superwoman that I had known all of my life had, for me as a teenager, as a 18-year-old at the time, this superwoman was no longer that. Not because it was her fault, I loved her the same, but she wasn't that person anymore, and that killed my heart, that hurt my heart so much. And the best way, guys, that I knew how to deal with it was to distance myself. I didn't want anything to do with cancer. I loved my mum like crazy, but I couldn't be around this cancer that I felt was killing our family. So I decided to, you know, prioritize my role as student council president in college, to focus on my education. I'd be out of the house as much as possible, because coming back was cooking, cleaning, ironing, and being around my mum, who wasn't herself and who was really, really sick. I mean, we had like a hospital room in our house, a room in our house. Our bedroom was transformed to her hospital room. So it was just really, 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 really tough. And I can't explain to you how much I distanced myself, but it was really quite scary. That was the best way that I could keep myself sane. So I would be like, oh, good morning, Mum. And then like between the AM when I left, said good morning, till like 7 o'clock I'd be in school, and then I'd come home, good evening, Mum, and then lock myself up in my room. And so basically the point is, you know, I really distanced myself away from my mum because the illness just broke me and I didn't want to be close to the illness. So nearing my exams, my mum had gotten so ill that she had to be taken from the house to a hospice, which wasn't close to us at all. It was really quite far away. And there came a day, my dad had said to us, I think it was Friday evening, like tomorrow, Saturday, we're going to spend the whole day with your mum in the hospice. And I was like, why? Like, what are we going to do there? She doesn't even know who we are. She can't even talk to us. Like, I have exams to prepare for, like, hello. And he was like, no, I don't care if you've got exams, we're going to go because I just want us to spend a day with her. And obviously, you know, I had to go, so myself and my two younger sisters went to the hospice, and we got there early afternoon, I'd say probably like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and stayed there till the evening, so I think like 8, 9 p.m. So I hadn't been able to take any of my school books, anything, because the focus was supposed to be on my mum. Now, where my mum was just a hospital environment, a hospice. It looked like a hospital, and we had like our chairs and her on the bed, and for however many hours we were there, from 1 till around about 8 o'clock, she hadn't spoken to us, she couldn't speak to us, she was just really that sick. And I just remember this image so vividly of her being so sick on the bed, and I just felt so broken in my heart. Anyway, the hours passed by and my dad was like, okay, you know what, you guys need a proper meal, and his sister didn't live too far away from the hospice. So we went to my aunt's house and just chilled out with our cousins, and it was the perfect kind of place to de-stress and relax, and we had fun, and it was just really what I needed. And after we'd eaten and we were joking with our cousins, my aunt, my dad's sister, received a phone call from my dad to say, like, the girls need to come to the hospital now, leave the youngest, don't bring her, just Mushope and myself, so my younger sister and myself. And I was like, what's going on? Like, what's all this fuss? Like, why do we have to go to the hospital? So something was clearly wrong to the hospice. So we went, and when we got there, my mum was breathing in a really weird way, and I knew something wasn't right. And so I went to her bedside, and for the first time in, I'd say, the 3 years, I held her hand, and I knew that she was saying goodbye. And I told her everything that I'd been bottling in my heart, everything that I wanted to tell her when I told her. Everything. I kept talking and telling her how sorry I was that I hadn't spoken to her even though she was ill, and how sorry I was for being such a bad daughter. And literally a few seconds later she took her last breath with her hand in my hand and my sister's hand in her hand, and that was it. Now, as you can imagine, sorry, I was filled with so much regret, because whilst I had distanced myself because I was in pain, I hadn't put her first and gotten over my hurt and pain and just decided to spend all of the time that I had left with her. And so I was full of so much regret, so much regret. But then again, as a defense mechanism, that mourning period, I refused to allow it to happen. I didn't want to mourn. I was so hurt, I didn't want to mourn. And I decided to use my studies and this planning for the prom and college rave to really block out my hurt. And that worked for a while, up until I got to my second year of university, when I don't know what changed, but I just felt like broken. I couldn't go to lectures. I actually had started my mourning period like 2 years later, and that affected my degree, that affected a relationship I was in at that time, and it really did affect my life in a really bad way. That story of university and everything I'll definitely tell you guys in another video, but my point is that was the biggest regret of my life, having a minute left with my mum to tell her everything I should have told her in 3 years, deciding to physically and openly love her at the point where she was leaving me. And how did I overcome that? I'm sorry, I'm teary now, but like, guys, I'm in such a great place in my life right now. I've been so blessed, I'm so great. My career is where I would never have expected it to be. My sisters are healthy and well. We haven't had setbacks besides that. Sorry guys, so my camera cut out, but basically the point was that was one of my biggest past regrets, and something that at that time I never thought I would be able to get over it or move forward from. And that brings me to the next part of my video, which is basically how I overcame. I'm in such an amazing place in my life right now. I am over my past. In fact, my past is something I used to strengthen me and to strengthen others, at least I hope so. And so I wanted to share with you guys how exactly I overcame, how I moved past my regret. So the first thing, the key starting point for me was to forgive myself. And it's the same for you. Whatever you've been through, whatever you've done, whatever you regret, you need to, in order to overcome and in order to find yourself in a place of joy and happiness, you need to forgive yourself. Basically, how did I forgive myself? I forgave myself because I came to this understanding, which is that mistakes are inevitable. In fact, just as I know that today is Monday and tomorrow is going to be Tuesday, I also know that I'm going to make mistakes. It's part of the essence of life, right? And coming to that understanding made me think to myself, okay, I've got future mistakes I'm going to make and future trials and tribulations that I'm going to have to overcome. Do I want to take this along with me moving forward? I don't want to have a mountain full of regrets and burden myself when I know that there are other challenges that I'm going to be facing in the coming days, in the coming weeks, in the coming months. And I decided I need to start letting go of some of the baggage in my life. I need to start letting go of some of the regrets that I have so that I can move forward and not hold myself back. So forgiving yourself is so important, guys. It's so key that you do it, because you're going to make mistakes anyway. We are imperfectly perfect. We're going to make mistakes. There's nobody on this earth that has not made a mistake. So forgiving yourself is so key. You need to forgive yourself. It doesn't matter what you've done. You just need to forgive yourself. And in order to make the process of forgiving yourself a lot easier, there are obviously other things that need to follow. So the second thing that I did, and that I believe you need to do, if there's anything that's stopping you from moving forward, if there's anything you don't feel like you've overcome in your past yet, is to surround yourself with light. And in terms of light, I'm specifically kind of focusing on people, the people in your life, the people that you surround yourself with. I for me it was kind of easy because I had an amazing group of females that I knew of in my life who have now become sisters. But if you don't already have like a really great social circle or like circle of friends, you need to make it a point of action for yourself to filter out people in your life who are giving you nothing, who bring you down, who remind you of your failures, who don't motivate you, who don't show you the love that you need in order to overcome what you're currently going through. You need to surround yourself with light. You need to surround yourself with people who remind you every day that you are amazing, that you are blessed, that you are human, and that you will make mistakes, and they've made mistakes too. And you really need to surround yourself with light. Even if it's a small process of, you know, going through your phone and thinking about the people who add to your life and the people who subtract from your life. There will be people that need from you, and that's fine and that's fair, but in terms of people who don't give or add anything to your life, you really need to make it a serious point of action to slowly disconnect, because you can't have people in your life that aren't going to help you rise above your past. You need people who are going to really, really help you move forward. So surround yourself with light, please. And that can even be, forget people, that can even be in terms of who you follow on social media, who you follow on YouTube, which I don't know, newspapers you read, not newspapers, which blogs you read and things like that. Anything that you feel is going to remind you of your past, you definitely need to filter out. The third thing that I did in order to overcome the regret that I had for such a long time is speak success into my atmosphere. So you should speak success, I can't talk, into your atmosphere. I read a post on the Huffington Post a few weeks ago, and it just made me think, oh my gosh, when I do this video I am so mentioning that. So this video this post spoke about, I think it was a guy, and he had some past struggles, and so he decided to make all of the passwords that he set for himself online motivational passwords or reminder passwords. So he would have a password for his email that was like whatever, I don't know, I'm amazing, whatever I've been through, I'm amazing. I don't know if you can really have that long a password, but that kind of example. So I am going to be successful, I am amazing, I am not a bad person. And then he also set reminder passwords, so, you know, forgive yourself, take the dog out for a walk. And it just kind of made me laugh, because I thought, if we all did that for ourselves, if we surrounded or spoke success into our atmosphere, how much better would we be? How much easier would it be to move on from our past? So speaking success into your atmosphere is so important. I never tell myself anything negative about myself, because there's no point. There's no point. The world around me, people will remind me every day of the fact that I'm not perfect, and so I think it's really important that I try my best to remind myself of how amazing I am. And so speaking success into your atmosphere, even if it's, you know, standing in front of the mirror and saying, today I've overcome, no matter what happens today, I will make today an amazing day, today I will be joyful, yesterday is gone, today is a new day. It's really important to speak success into your atmosphere, and that's something that only you can do for yourself. Forgiving yourself is something you can do for yourself that others can help out with. Surrounding yourself with light is something that you do for yourself, but again, other people can help out with. But in terms of speaking success into your atmosphere, that is something that you can only do for yourself. So yes, that's another way that I decided to overcome. And finally, to give back. To give back. For me, my battle, my regret was cancer, and how I dealt with cancer in my family and to some extent in my life. And giving back for me really has been a burden lifter. It has been so refreshing. It's brought me to such a happy place right now, and I gave back in terms of, you know, monetary giving, because I'm in a position where I could. So I'd give money to charities that were, you know, charities working on cancer research. And also, I mean, if you can't give like in forms of money, then you can give in different ways. So I decided that I really wanted to mentor some girls in my church, some beautiful young individuals, and whilst they didn't go through or haven't experienced anyone in their family having cancer, I decided to make it my action point to make sure that I encourage them and I remind them of how amazing they are, and that I check up on them whenever I can and as much as I can. So giving back, guys, really is such a huge burden lifter, and I don't want you to feel like you have to have so much to give in order to give back. It can be a word of encouragement, it can be a smile. You can give back in such a small way and it has such a huge impact. So that was all I wanted to talk about today. I really do hope that someone watching this video was motivated or encouraged, and if you do feel free enough to comment below, even if it's on your opinions of my advice as to how to overcome your past and move past regret, then please do. If it's something you're going through and you feel comfortable enough to comment below, then please do. But yeah, so that's the first video of the Imperfectly Perfect series, and I hope you guys are blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.